Over the River, Adventured Remembered by James Mercer. In Over the River, James invites readers to journey across time and place, revisiting a world that once defined the southeast reaches of the Thames. With poignant recollection of his childhood travels from Sidcup to North Woolwich and beyond, James paints a vivid portrait of an era when the Thames was more than a river. It was a lifeblood shaping both landscape and memory. The bustle of buses, the rhythmic dance of river ferries, and the ceaseless energy of the London docks are brought to life with a storyteller's eye for detail, revealing a world now fast receding into history. Through a deeply personal lens, James reflects on his family's enduring connection to the dockside's intimate tie to a way of life grounded in hard work and resilience. His evocative prose, interwoven with images from his own childhood and local archives, illuminates the transformation of the Thames and the surrounding areas, offering both a nostalgic tribute and a quiet elegy for a past that will never be recaptured. Over the River is more than a memoir. It is a meditation on time, place, and the passage of generations. With each page, James takes us on a journey not just through his own memories, but through the ebb and flow of a London that shaped and was shaped by the lives of its working people. Rich in emotion and beautifully written, this book is a heartfelt homage to a vanished world, inviting readers to step back in time and witness the quiet power of a childhood defined by the Thames. James Mercer grew up in Sidcup, Kent. His father's side of the family lived in Bexleyheath and Crayford. His mother's family had a long association with Limehouse and the Isle of Dogs. James' mother's family had an inherent identity with London docks and lightering, dating back to the mid-19th century. James revisited the journey explored in Over the River with his own children, albeit via the Docklands Light Railway. The journey now skirts the repurposed, glittering vertical cityscape and neoliberal spatial planning that is Canary Wharf. His mother's childhood home on the Isle of Dogs survives. The boundary of the river is transcended by family history, a boundary which, when crossed as a child, offered glimpses hitherto unknown, alluring places, mud chute, island gardens, and stations with steam engines.
Over the River by James Mercer. On a grey Saturday, occasionally discomforted by a keen and unseasonable northeasterly breeze, we walk up Sidcup Hill and wait. The 21 bus, destination Moorgate, stops. Its interior lights glow cream and inviting. Passengers cocooned against the chill. A sprightly older man alights, dropping his paper ticket purposely into the black bin on the open platform. No one boards. The bell tings and the bus pulls away, grumbling at the gradient. We wait. Others join us. The wind whips up dust and tickets discarded with less heed, curling them carelessly into the road, where they spiral with scratchy leaves into the steady flow of traffic. Another bus draws into view, emerging from the concealing curve of the road rising from Footscray. The 229 is to be our preliminary transport to adventure across the water. Over the chocolate block platform and up the stairs, a front seat is free. Condensation on the windows partially obscures the view as we accelerate slowly up the hill towards the high street. Rain dots the glass. 1.5 to the clock tower, please, requests father. The conductress takes our fare and winds the twirling tickets out of her mechanical silver machine. It's a Gibson machine, says father. The fare shows in the window on the top. We wait at traffic lights. Ben-Hur is showing at the ABC. More passengers disembark than board as we pause just beyond the ironmongers at the stop for Sidcup station. As the bus continues along Faraday Avenue, the rain falls harder still. A green London-bound electric train slows, passing the signal box as it draws smoothly into the station. There is a wisp of smoke as an obscured steam engine draws a creeping convoy of trucks towards Dartford. It is warm on the bus. The coarse, brown, green, checkered material of the seats chafes above the knee. We open the window slightly. It slides smoothly at the turn of a bright silver handle. Blue mist of cigarette smoke curls away and vanishes. Spots of rain blow in. Crossing the railway on Footscray Lane, we intersect the goods train. A drift of steam and smoke rises from either side of the bridge as the locomotive glides gently down the gradient with minimum effort. 060 austerity, says father, who knows about all sorts of things. There is congestion in Old Bexley High Street as traffic jostles through the narrowed street. The bus picks up more passengers. Women fold pushchairs. There is a delay. The conductress places the pushchairs in the space under the stairs. Then the long growling drag up Gravel Hill. Bexley Heath Broadway contrasts with Sidcup High Street. It is long and straight, conforming to the pattern of ancient Watling Street. The pavements are punctuated with green metal poles, receding into the distance with an artistic perspective. From the poles a tight trapeze of wire is suspended. The rain continues to fall. We don't need to pull the bell cord at the clock tower. It's a white enamel bus stop at which the driver is mandated to halt. There is, however, urgency to our departure. We hasten across the chocolate block platform and momentarily grasping the smooth, pitted, shiny white pole for support, we swing onto the pavement and dash across the wet road. Mounting the curb, we pass large double rear wheels, black tyres on brown hubs, and step, slightly breathless, onto the open platform of trolleybus 698. The slipper on the cable arm is attached seamlessly to the taut cables. Black strings lace across a grey, sodden sky. The bus is full of passengers, but with good fortune we secure a seat at the front, downstairs this time. We sit curbside. There is an enclosed space between us and the front window. Unlike the bus that carried us to Bexley Heath, there is no protruding half bonnet. The front of the trolleybus is flat and smooth, without indentation. It curves pleasingly at the sides. The leathery blind that maintains the driver's privacy is only partially drawn. He catches our eyes, and with a conspiratorial smile smoothly accelerates the bus as effortlessly as a milk float out into Broadway. We glide down Erith Road towards Barnhurst and Northumberland Heath, past the trolleybus depot. Inside, a fleet of flat-fronted silent buses wait like so many Dodgem cars retired from the fair. The trapeze of overhead cables is drawn inside. The conductor issues a ticket from an identical silver machine. Inside, the same cream, shiny, painted roof, with partially concealed round electric bulbs, the same green bell cord. But this is a different ride, smooth, quiet, electric, hospitable. There is a long seat for 4 passengers over the double wheels. Conversations are subdued, yet more conspicuously overheard. We hear the susurrus of tyres adhering to the wet road. Descending Bexley Road into Erith, there is a heightened sense of expectation. A first distant glimpse of the river, brown, inhospitable, but vital. An archery, serving the ravenous appetite of London for coal, food, timber, and goods of all sorts. The river delineates a boundary of perception. To the south all is familiar. To the north lie the dragons of Essex and the imperceptible flatlands of distant East Anglia. Through the grey terraced streets and the incongruous pastoral intrusion of Lesnie's Abbey, and on to Beresford Square and the bottom of Church Street, where we alight. Virtually imperceptible blue sparks flicker overhead as the contact slipper bumps gently across damp connecting cables. The bus leaves us, and we shiver slightly in the cross river breeze. An indefinite pulse of bells is borne on the wind. St. Mary's, 8 bells, 10 a covering, says father, who knows something about all sorts of things. Probably grands her triples. A hovering, vaguely articulated melancholy, a sense perhaps that this might be our last journey so travelled. A walk-down ferry approach. Traffic is queuing patiently. Lorries carrying coal, timber, furniture and cables. Horse boxes heading into Essex. Green coaches with orange glass bound for Southend, despite the season, along with cars, bicycles, and a solitary, obstinate horse and cart. The horse, eating contentedly from its nose-bag, and unperturbed by the compact busyness surrounding it, is slightly subversive, an involuntary dissenting relic of a rapidly passing time. The timber facing of the jetty squeaks in momentary protest and distress as the ferry berths sideways. The fenders are squeezed thin. The jetty ramp, lowered by hydraulics, adjusts to the tide. A procession of vehicles leaves, drawing slowly up the ferry approach, to be absorbed into the streets, arterial roads, workshops and factories of South London. The passenger deck is busy. Lifebelts hanging from the vehicle deck bear the name Will Crooks. He was the first Labour Mayor of London, observes father. We wait. There is shelter to be had inside, but most people stand on the deck to watch the departure. The captain and his officers, dark blue with caps, observe the retreat of the ramp. With an echoing blast from the hooters, suppressed puffs of grey-white smoke tumble from the twin funnels, fore and aft, as we move from the Kent shore across a turbulent Thames towards Essex. Mid-river and down into the engine room. From a railed-off platform the machinery can be seen close up. Silver crankshafts gliding, brass gauges, oil, steam, noise. The contained power is visceral. A wave of heat erupts from the open boiler doors as the stokers feed an insatiable appetite for coal. The crew, perspiring and purposeful, performing as if for a paying audience at a matinee. Will Crooks navigates an attentive progress across the water, partnered at a distance by an anonymous twin ploughing south. The paddles leave a brown, foamy wake, rapidly dispersed by the tide-drawn currents. Tugs struggle upstream against the outgoing tide, the bow wave of the trailing and near-submerged lighters showing yellow-white in the watery light. Empty coal-boats leave the port of London, heading for the Channel and the ports of the north-east. Uncle Jim's out there on the water somewhere, working the timber lighters in Surrey docks. A lighterman has a tough and dangerous job. More than once Jimmy has called for a lift home from hospital after a fall or rescue from the perilous water. A crane forest punctuates the northern horizon, Henley cables dominating the foreshore. The Tate and Lyle wharf gives birth to a cargo ship riding high in the water. Grandad James Newson worked there until recently as a foreman lighterman. The triple stacks of Woolwich Power Station stand sentinel back on the southern shore, coal ships waiting. Shooter's Hill rises grey-green in the middle distance. Too soon we berth. Port flank against the wet, squeaking wharf. We have crossed the border. Access now to Essex and points north and east. Substantial but grimy, the incongruously Italianate North Woolwich Station displays dark blue Eastern region enamel signage. The platform lamps, ringed by hoops, support blue totems. There is a tank engine turntable. Very exotic. The terminus betrays unfulfilled aspirations. The rain is sporadic. The stubby platform canopy offers a small concession to comfort. Damaged during the Blitz, says father, who experienced such things. A locomotive backs onto its train. We walk alongside a rake of sooty maroon carriages, the doors opening onto closed compartments. The engine sizzles in the damp air. N7062T, says father. The fire glows hot and orange as the fireman, with careful deliberation, places coal in the firebox, a vivid flash of colour on an otherwise drab, damp, but eventful and cheerfully prolonged afternoon. Inside the carriage, immediately behind the engine, a cracked leather strap, tensioned on a metal fastener, holds the brown-tinged window shut. Releasing the strap, the window slips half open. We wait in quiet suspense for the guard's whistle. The delayed eruption from the engine's chimney ricochets from factory walls and then subsides. We pant our way through Silvertown, past Royal Victoria Dock, where grey water reflects the subdued light glimpsed between warehouses and the striding legs of derricks. Smoke tumbles in through the part-open window as we pass under a bridge at Abbey Mills, en route to our intermediate journey's end, Stratford. More blue enamel platform totems, fast trains, blurred, furious sound, and then a hazy, transitory hush. A receding, red-eyed dragon escaping into the darkness towards Bishop Stortford, Cambridge, Ely, Peterborough, and unimagined lands beyond. And then a choice: the adventure resampled in reverse, or an alternative subterranean journey. We choose the latter. Central Line, Circle Line, Charing Cross, then an electric train home, back over the river, into the gathering evening. Tea and bed. Distant ship sirens carried on the murky, persistent night-time breeze from across the river. Sleep, and a wait for the next adventure.